How do you know that you're actually receiving messages? How do you know that you are really a person who is gifted with spiritual and or mediumistic gifts? Oh, those are big questions, right? And oftentimes, one of the things that I would say is that if you're asking those questions, chances are you're already one of us. Like, if there's even a sheer chance, a possibility, it's not just a hope, a wish, a dream, but it's actually your lived experience, then you're already one of us. Because really, your lived experience, then you're already one of us. Because a person who doesn't even suspect that they have gifts are not going to ask those type of questions. So, first off, just like deciding or figuring out whether or not you're neurodiverse, this is the same context. It takes self diagnosis first before you can go and seek a professional opinion. It's just facts. Now, if you happen to be born into a spiritual family and you have someone who can explain to you or walk you through or guide you through this, kudos to you. A lot of us don't have that. Especially those of us who are, well, descendants of the American slavery South, right? Um, Being several generations American on this side of the planet, on this side of the world, means that more often than not, our spirituality, our faith, our gifting has been policed by fear. So, fear from people who were colonizers or enslavers, traffickers, etc., but also the fear of our own community, because fear at the end of the day tends to be protection, right? We have this animal instinct, this innate ability to be aware of when there is danger. Well, if you come from a family that has had to be aware of danger for centuries, it becomes baked into your own culture. It becomes baked into your epigenetics, your genetics. It becomes baked into your family life. That being a person who has giftings, who has the ability to channel, who has the being a person who has giftings, who has the ability to channel, who has um, the ability to fully embody spirit, who has the ability to even talk to spirits, who has the foresight of premonition or other gifts, because there's just so many gifts. Being a person who has access to a gifting when you are raised in a family that has used fear and I want to say fear and anger in one respect, but fear and religion to try to protect you from the results of being different or better than in the American South type of society. They're going to protect you by telling you the same things that they themselves learned. So, a lot of people, when I said I was a seer, and I did use the word psychic just for people to have some kind of correlation, some kind of analogy to understand what I do. Because I personally don't call myself a psychic. I don't really like the word, especially because it's been bastardized so much um, through the call me now, like, the 900 numbers and all that stuff. And so there are people who profited off of other people's fear, pain, uncertainty, etc. Just like the medical industry, just like the business industry, they all profited off of love and relationship and job and money. So those questions are always going to be the questions that people are asking, right? And so that's been bastardized by the for profit industry, people's gifts, to the point where, um, you know, there's a pattern, there's a template of which you can answer those things. Y'all see it here. You see it here on these TikTok lives. You see it here on other platform lives where there are charlatans. There are people who are not gifted at all. There are people who are hard workers who may have studied and learned and memorized cards and whatnot. But you also have people on here who do not have a gift at all. And you'll see that more times than not, they're wrong. Or more times than not, they're giving generic advice. See that more times than not, they're wrong. Or more times than not, they're giving generic advice. And more times than not, um, they just, when you use your discernment, you're aware of it. But conversely, there are a lot of gifted people here on this platform and on several platforms. And those on this platform and on several platforms. And those people, for the most part, tend to be those who are either just now leaning into or learning their gifts, leaning into their own spirit or learning their own spirit, unless they were raised in a family that helped them cultivate, or if they've been in the culture here, they're going to be like so humble, or just like a lot of times they won't even charge, which is a thing. And I will tell you, you are allowed to charge for your gifts. You really are allowed to charge for your gifts. You're allowed. I don't. Again, that is left over from human trafficking era, the colonizer era of like taking away the enslaved ability to make money. Hence, like for instance, the watermelon jokes. That was a way that people were able to make money, and so they made it a joke, and now it becomes a stereotype, a negative stereotype. But that was how people were becoming solvent and marketable and sustainable, or whatever the words are I'm looking for right now because it is kind of late. That's how people were becoming solvent and marketable and sustainable, or whatever the words are I'm looking for right now because it is kind of late. But they were able to become self-sufficient. That's the word I'm looking for. Through sellings of fruit. If that stuff didn't work, it wouldn't still be happening today. Y'all, there are people always lining the streets selling fruit. Because that's a plentiful thing. It's a bountiful thing, and it's always been a method of merchant making money. So it got bastardized and it got turned into something negative, and so did your gifts. So did your abilities through the lines, through the generations. Because I strongly believe none of us got here with a gift that the lines through the generations. Because I strongly believe none of us got here with a gift that previous, even when we are spirits from other places, it's still going to come down a line of us, a line of our own people. Why am I opening this? We don't need this. Oh, well, I'll just use this as a table. So, so I wanted to talk about the fact that what you can do is not evil. It's not. Can people use your giftings for evil? Absolutely. Can you use your own giftings for evil? Absolutely. But being a person born with gifts of sight, gift of intuition, gift of being able to hear, gift of being able to know, being born with a gift does not inherently make you evil. In fact, it makes you blessed. But it also puts a mantle on you that some other people don't have, when either they're not born with a gift or they're just not aware of their gift. But a person who knows that they have a gift now has a question of, what do I do with it, right? And so that's been the question that I've been walking through for the better part of this year, as I have fully started embracing. That is a conundrum in itself, what I'm just saying, as I have begun fully embracing my own gifts. So being born with the gifts of sight, of knowing, evil thing. So do not let people tell you that it's evil. Because as I said, when I came out the closet, the spiritual closet, evil thing. So do not let people tell you that it's evil. Because as I said, when I came out the closet, the spiritual closet, said that I capabilities. And I just said it because I was so excited to finally like own part of me. So it wasn't like, hey y'all, guess what I have? It was like, you guys, all this time, like all this time I've had these gifts. What? I didn't know it. Um, all this time, like all this time I've had these gifts. What? I didn't know it. So I was just like excited, happy to finally be feeling the alignment of embracing my abilities, of all the multiple clairs that I have. And again, these are just titles that other people are giving them. So this is just to make it where it's understandable. But the gift of sight, the gift of knowing, premonitions, past lives, like all these things that I just was taking advantage of, I guess you would say, because I didn't know they were gifts. I just thought those were, oh, I don't know how I did that. Oh, I don't know how I knew that. Just having those random moments. I thought they were random moments, but I didn't know these were full life gifts until I got in that class. But when I posted that, like, oh my gosh, y'all, all this time I've been a seer, I had people responding with scripture and telling me how evil it was. And telling me, like, giving me scripture verses of coming against people with sight. And I'm like, but what's a prophet? Oh, they use it for the church. The man-made church. You know what I mean? Because as I've maintained, and I'll say it again here, my soul knew God before there was a Bible, and my soul knew God from the moment He created it, and that was not just in this lifetime, right? So instead of feeling bad about myself, this is where I give myself kudos, and this is where you should give yourself kudos too. Instead of feeling bad about yourself, instead of allowing someone to tell you who you are and what you are, it's evil. Oh, you need to pray to God, take that away. What for? Like, why would I want to take away a gift that He's given me? A gift that until today, I have been using to help people, not hurt people. When it's a natural gift, you naturally use it. And you're just not paying attention to it because you assume other people can do that. So I used to get like, I'll help people, I'll talk to them, and oh, how do you know? Or I never told anybody that. Or I don't know why I told you this. Help people, I'll talk to them, and oh, how do you know? Or I never told anybody that. Or I don't know why I told you this. Those three things. Natural, right? A natural healer, natural communicator, naturally gifted. And then people would leave me feeling better than when they met me, which was great because that meant that I was a good person, right? Like I was affecting the earth in good ways. But they were using my gift. And then once I mentioned that I was a seer or, had psychic abilities, those same people who benefited off of my gift the entire time were now telling me that gift was evil and to pray it away. That didn't make sense to me. So, if you feel a certain kind of way like that, like if you feel that your own giftings are evil, I'm going to ask you to revisit who made you. And even if you wanted to use the book, even if you wanted to use the Bible, then you would see there that our gifts are all throughout it. Our gift of sight, a gift of knowing, our gift of hearing from spirits, the Holy Spirit, our gift of being able to, it's not imagine, but being able to taste and smell, and all those gifts are in the Bible. And this gets into that secular gospel music debate where people are like, you can only use your voice for God. Listen, Jesus went to the club. Jesus met people where they were. You can use your voice wherever you can use your voice. You just know that you don't need to become what other people are. You don't have to become a drug dealer or even a drug addict in order to reach people who are either of those things. You show up in your own glory, your own light, but you don't have to do that just in church because that's where they may not be. So why would you be hanging out with the same kind of people when your job is to spread light and to spread love? And you don't necessarily have to say God loves you. You don't have to say that. They get to see it through their interactions with you. That's one thing. I'm going off topic here, but I want to come back to this. Um, and I use the word God. Y'all can use universe, y'all can use light, whatever works for you. But one thing that I know since I was in second grade, there is a God. It just may not be the one that other people talk about. There's a creator. And in my second grade brain, I remember asking this question, and it went on for infinity, like kids would do. But I went, who made God? Because if God made us, who made God, right? So then I went, okay, who made God? So basically, who made the creator who made the creator? Okay. So then I went again. So who made God? And I went on and on and on like that. I don't know, it might have been 5 minutes. All I know is I went really far into asking who made. And then finally I got the answer, and it was he just is. And I'm using masculine right now, but it just is. And so what I've come to understand lately is that what God really is love and light and energy. Everything on earth has those three things: love, light, and energy. Molecules, atoms, carbon, love, light, and energy. It's in everything. It's what we need to grow. It's what trees need to grow. Love, light, and energy. And so that's what God is. And if God made us in the image of him, then guess what else we are? Love, light, and energy. And if we're also made in the image of God, guess what else we can do? Create. So, when we're not in creation mode, we're not in our God mode. We're not living in true alignment and true passion and true purpose. So I want to talk about that today. I feel like that's what we're going to talk about right now. How are you going to get into alignment? So many people are out of alignment right now. So let's think about it. Let's talk about it. Let's focus on this. We're going to let that be our question. And we're going to get a tone of the reading. For anybody wondering what I am using the Faces of Oshun. This is such a beautiful deck. And so let's answer this question right now. Is how do we get in alignment? I'm not taking anything that doesn't come out clearly. How do we get in alignment? Okay, let me get some reversals really quickly. Because reversals are going to tell us what we really need to focus on because we're not doing it or we're not allowing it. So let me get this going here. How do we get in alignment with our purpose, with our calling, with the reason why we're here? How do we get in alignment? How do we get in alignment? How do we get in alignment? Now this is going to be a generic answer, meaning it is not focused on just one person in the audience. So therefore the energy of it is not going to be on just one person. This is going to be collective. So how do we get in alignment? This is what we're asking right now. Because so many of us are out of purpose. We're out of our calling. We're out of alignment with our own gifts. And so we're going to figure this out. We're going to figure this out in a generic term. Now, is there an ability to have an individual? Absolutely. And y'all know what to do to find that information out. But for right now, we are going to do this collectively. How do we get in alignment? Let's talk about it. Is that the correct question? Okay, it is. How do... All right. Okay. I'm going to show you what fell out just now. And it was a 4 card. 4 card. Even number. 2 and 2. It fell out in, I'm assuming the reverse, because it fell in my lap and I'm picking, when I picked it up, I tried to pick it up exactly how it fell. I wasn't paying attention. I will tell you that, but this feels exactly right though. And looking at it, I will show you it in a second, but I feel like there's a second one here. How do we get in alignment? How do we get in alignment? It shows us what we're not doing. It shows us what we are to do. I know that kind of answers that too, but how do we get in alignment? Is that all there is to this message, or is there more? How do we get in alignment? How do we get in alignment with our purpose, our calling? How do we walk forward, embracing our gifts, our talents, our whole selves, not letting people tell us who we are, and instead standing on the business of who we were made to be, even as we seek to discover who that is. May we have the boldness and the courage to walk forward in order to find that. Is there more to this message? How do we, is there more to this message through the cards, or is it going to be through me? Okay. It's going to be through me. So let's go ahead and look at this card. I'm going to put those down. Let's look at this. So the card that fell out is Oshun Overflows. Look at the beauty of this card, right? So this is just such a gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous card. But it's in the reverse. So this is something that we're not doing, that we need to be focused on doing, and that we need to be doing more of. So this card says here, Oshun Overflows. Obviously, if we are not in alignment, that's not what we're doing. So what are the key words here? The key words here are generosity, wealth, and auspicious blessings. So a few things that came out of here is show up. This is the first thing. Show up. Show up centered. Show up to be seen. Show up in your full self, in your beauty, in your weaponry, in your giftings and your calling. If you notice, Oshun is in the water. And water is something that is incredibly spiritual. It is purely linked to spirituality. And if you look at the water around her, y'all, this water is flowing. This water is living. It is breathing. And then what's in the water? Abundance. You see coins, and they're floating on the surface. So that means it's not something she has to dig into and work for. That's not something that is hiding in the shadows and she doesn't know how to get it. That is not what's happening. The other part too is that you need to be your magical self. Because if you look very closely, it looks like these ladies are mermaids, right? And in being a mermaid type of woman, that means you are already a magical being, a magical creature. That means that you are essentially the unicorn of this earth, this planet, your family, your community. So you need to show up fully in who you are, even when that is different than who other people are as well. That's where your abundance lies. That's where it's easy to grab. That's where it's going to bubble up to the surface. That's where you will find true wealth. Now, the wealth is not just in money, the wealth is also in community, because there's not just one woman of gifting, there are three. So that means that you need to open yourself up to finding your community and having your community find you. But again, you are the main character of your life. So you will not be playing a side role. You will not be hiding behind someone else. You will be standing front and center in your own life. This is the antithesis of how you show up right now. Even if you are a person who is, let's say, going all in on social media, you're doing so in a way that feels safe for the community. You might be showing up teaching people all about TikTok, how to go viral on TikTok, how to get more people on TikTok, how to sell more on TikTok. That might be what you're showing up to do because you see that it makes people money. You see that it gets people followers. You see that it helps people go viral. But baby, you are not like them. They're not like us. So stop trying to be like them. Will it get you followers? Sure. But will it get you community? No. Not the right one. So you need to be showing up fully as you, in your gifting, in your difference, in your quirkiness, in your beauty. And you need to do so with the attitude of the peacock. Because if you notice, Oshun right there in the middle, she is wearing that crown. And that crown of peacock feathers. And peacocks are known, especially the males who would be wearing these kind of feathers, they are known for not giving a F what other people think, because they are out there to attract their person. Just like you are to show up in all of your beauty, all of your wealth, all of your talents, because wealth is more than money. You need to be showing up fully as you in order to attract your tribe, in order to attract your people, in order to attract community that you not only can profit from, but who you can also grow with. Because it's only lonely at the top of a mountain if your mountain is actually a volcano. If it's a real mountain, then it's in ranges with other mountains. So you have to be in range with other people who are like you. And they will find you when you find yourself. So, where's your wealth? It's right on the surface, but not if you're not being true to who you are. Not if you are hiding behind what is safe and what everyone else does. Not if you're not showing up fully as yourself. Some of y'all, I hear the question. Some of y'all don't know who you are. That's cool. I didn't know it either. I really didn't. But let me temper that, because in a way, that's a lie too. I didn't accept who I was because it did not fit how the rest of the society was. You're not here to fit in with society. You're here to stand out. And standing out, let it go. Let this part go. Standing out is not going to make you a target. It will not. Standing out will not attract you haters. No, it will not. Because anybody who comes and leaves a negative comment under your thing, or who has something negative to say about you, look what she got on her belt. Reflection. So anything negative that anybody brings to you is literally just a reflection of them. And when they try to hit below the belt, all they're going to see is who they are in the first place. If you want that water to be abundant, if you want to live into your full spirituality, if you want to move into your own wealth, you have got to be more generous with yourself, more patient, more kind, more understanding. You have got to be the person who values you before you even think someone else can do so. This is a very powerful card right now. So how do you get into alignment? How do you get into alignment? How do you get into alignment? You show up as you. The path will never be fully lit before you. It only shows up as you do. So step forward into who you are and discover it more and more each day. I never knew what I could do. I never knew fully what I could do. But I'm learning it now. And I'm not upset with that. I'm not upset with my gifts. I'm only upset with the fact that I never took them as valuable. So I'm trying to see what else is on this thing. Oh, the other part. You see that countenance? You see how they look? You see their faces? As you walk into who you are, as you show up as who you are, you need to do it with more joy, more curiosity, more gratitude, more IDGAF, what anybody else says. This is how you get to your abundance and your wealth. And again, I'm not just talking monetarily. I'm talking spiritually, emotionally, mentally, all the different ways. You want to cash in on what real life is waiting for you? Then stop not showing up. Show up again as you. Stop trying to be somebody else. You need to stand out, put your feathers on, and show up. And find your tribe, because they will find you. They will step in right behind you. That is a beautiful message right there, y'all. So that is how you will get into alignment. That is how you will get unstuck. That is how you will find your community and tribe and stop feeling so damn alone. Is to stop operating in a way that will create those type of things for you. Now, I have a message for somebody. Interesting. Sometimes I just talk, y'all, because it comes up. So I have a message for somebody. You're watching right now. It's okay. I have a message for somebody. What's the message? Take the job. The message is for you to take the job. Y'all, thank you for the love and likes and shares. I truly appreciate it. The message that's coming through right now is take the job. Do not be afraid. Do not second guess yourself. Do not hold on to what you have, because that no longer serves you. You need to take the job. You need to step forward and be okay being seen. That's going to be tonight's message, is be okay being seen. Be okay being in the light, because the truth is, you really are the light. Any other light is artificial, but baby, your light glows from internal. And you got cards. Oh my Lanta. Oh my Lanta. Okay. Do I take those cards? Yes. Okay, I feel the story coming on for you. Hold on. Lights, please. Okay, you know what? I'm going to look at something really quickly inside of the book. Is there another message? Is there a clarifier to this? Actually, I know what I want to clarify. But let me show you what your cards are so that you don't be like, hey, you didn't show me my cards. Here are your cards. For this, I am using the Light Seers Tarot. All right. So this is for you. You're thinking of taking a job. It's been offered to you. Now that it's offered to you, you don't know if you actually want it. Take the job. Okay? So you got the Eight of Wands in reverse. You got the Tower in reverse. You got the Four of Swords upright. And then you got the Eight of Swords in reverse. So this is a 4 card. Let's feel what this is. There's a story here for you. I'm going to repeat it. Take the job. Take the job. All right. So in Light Seers Tarot, reverses are going to be the shadow. And again, the shadow is what you are to focus on. Okay, hold on. Now, I look things up and then I still read it the way that it is. Instability, delays, and focus energy, lack of direction, burnout, a tendency to hesitate. There we go. That's the key word. A tendency to hesitate. You want to move, but act. If your foot's not stuck in the mud, then you locked your keys in the car. Am I right? You are fluctuating between having a tendency to hesitate and running so fast that you're burning out. It's time to bring some balanced momentum into your propulsion. Consistent movement that feels right in your heart is the best place to start. It's go time. If I fall into the flow of this quickening energy, I swiftly face my desires head on. So, the Eight of Wands. So the Eight of Wands. Feel into this energy real quick because I love this card. It's so beautiful. It's so colorful. And it also shows for me the magic that's within, but it's coming from different directions. And it glows from the center outward, right? Now, the thing with swords are wands. Wands are, they're not cups. So cups are emotions. But wands are, let me double check this real quick. Because I know swords are about mental capacity. And wands. There's a chord. I'm sorry. I don't mean to upset y'all ears. I really don't. Hold on. Give me a pause. I'm learning these cards, y'all. I'm learning these cards. Readings and spreads. Readings and spreads. Journal these cards. Hold on. I know wands are, I'm sorry, swords are mental capacity. Wands are, do I want to say creativity? No. Hold on. Is it even in this book? It might be in the other book I was reading. Aces are elemental, pentacles are this, courts are that. It's got to be here. Okay. Yeah, creativity. Ah, she's getting good, y'all. Okay, I'm sorry for holding that. All right, so wands are about creativity and inspiration and passion. So that's exactly it. So again, we're talking about take the job, right? Why are we not taking the job? Because you haven't been doing this. You haven't been living in your creativity. You haven't been living with passion. You've been, again, checking boxes, doing what other people say to do, doing what feels safe, doing what has good optics, right? So, for instance, if right now you are in the entrepreneur or creator industry, taking a job feels like you failed at that. And I want you to know that's not the truth of it at all. You need an investor, right? And failed at that. And I want you to know that's not the truth of it at all. You need an investor, right? And so, right? And so that the job that is being offered to you, whether you've applied, meaning that you put the effort forward, or you're being recommended, like someone else is speaking your name in the room or offering to give you a job, you are to take it because, because this is temporary. That's the other part you need to remember. This is temporary. You haven't failed. What you are doing is you are pivoting. And this pivot is part of the purpose. You will not create your best. You will not do it so fearlessly if you do not let up on the stress. You need a moment to breathe right now so that you can get back to making your magic, so that you can get back to putting all your different wands together to create something beautiful. So, this is where you've been living. You've been living in a stressful place. You've been living in non-creativity. You've been living in checking off the boxes. You've been living basically inauthentically. You've followed the gurus. You showed up. You check the list, you know, you got your hooks, you got your grabbers, you're posting 5 times a day, you're doing all these different things, and you're not getting what you thought you were going to get. You're out of alignment. You are out of alignment because creativity is not just a matter of making things. Creativity is about being in purpose, being in passion, being in play. You got to play again. But you can't do that when you're stressed out about where the money's coming from. How are you going to pay the bill? How are you going to be able to move? How are you going to be able to get out their house? You can't get where you want to get. And let me change that. I'm not going to say can't. You can. But you could do it in such a way that makes you miserable. So right now, you're being told that it's okay to alleviate the stress that's on your life, to take some of it out of your life. Say yes to the job because it's temporary. Once you take the job, make the plan of what you're going to do with it. How long are you planning to stay there? What do you need to do in order to take care of what would allow you to go and play again peacefully? Because what I want you to know too is that this isn't the end. This isn't the end. Because what I want you to know too is that this isn't the end. This isn't the end. Hour is going to signify that there is an end. There is a change that is happening. I'm telling you, this isn't the end. Going back into the workplace, going back into the workforce right now is a pivot, not a period. It is not the end. Okay? I need you to know that because you're feeling like you failed, and that's not what's happening. You are being very strategic, and it's okay. You can go back. Put time limits on it. And don't put limits on it that are going to make you feel better. Put limits on it that speak to your alignment, yourself. And now when you take this job, and this is one thing I wish I had known when I was younger about working, is that every job is an opportunity to learn something. So if you're taking a job even as a cashier, what are you going to be learning? You're going to be learning how to deal with people, and you're going to be learning how to have a procedure. You know what else you're learning? Think about this. I used to work at McDonald's when I was in high school. They say all the great people ever in the world used to work at McDonald's. So I'm banking on it, y'all. I'm banking on it. Anyway, and I made $4.25 an hour. But anyway, one of the things that you learn while working at McDonald's, while working a cashier anywhere, the cash register anywhere, while working in AT&T, while being a salesperson, if you are a person who is looking to be a creator, who is looking to be an entrepreneur, you need to be taking notes of your location. Because if you work in a place, say like AT&T or something, optics are everything. You have to put what people might buy in their face, right? You also have to suggest upsells to people. So they buy a phone from you. What are you suggesting? Would you like to protect your phone? Are you saying, hey, do you want to get this case? It's made of polymer or whatever words we're going to not say right now. You don't say that. You say, do you want to protect your phone? Why? Because that's the benefit. That's the benefit they get. For paying $40 for a case, they can go to Amazon later and buy. I did this before, y'all. I bought $40 for a case. I went on Amazon. After I left, it was $6. I was so mad. But when people come to buy a phone, the other thing that you learn, I want y'all to take notes. Y'all should be taking notes right now. So if the job you're even looking to go back into is, say, working in AT&T or something like that, you are learning how to upsell people, right? And you're learning how to upsell them through the benefits that they get, right? You are also learning how to stage things so that it is within people's eyesight and it invokes desire, correct? You're also learning how to put yourself forward Because if you are working, say, based on commission or what have you, you're not going to sit there and let your homegirl get the job, deal with the customer. You are going to step forward and say, how can I help you? And that's another thing I need you to realize is that you're not saying, oh, you here to buy a phone? You're going to say, how can I help you? Why? Because you want to hear from people what they actually want. Y'all, these are marketing lessons from you going back into another job. So, like I was saying, when you are wanting to have your own business, wanting to be your own content creator, wanting to do whatever, wherever you are, whatever job, workplace you are at, take note. What is it that you're doing there that you can use to translate into your own business when you're ready to start, or into your own content creator agency or whatever it is that you're trying to create? You're going to learn those things. So it's positioning, it is benefit, it is like asking people to use their own words. So how can I help you? So those are just 3 examples of what you would get if right now you have to put content creation off to the side, make it a part-time so that you can go get a job right now and take some stress off of you. So while you go there, learn. What can you learn? Right? So that's what needs to happen is you need to change perspective, right? Because when we look at the tower this way, this is going to be unexpected. This is chaos. This is the rug being pulled from underneath your feet. This is beliefs challenge, new awareness, perspective, destruction, being unsure of who you are. That's what it is this way. But when we hit it this way, this is about you refusing to change. This is about you refusing to allow the transformation to happen. And so do not look to what other people are doing and how other people might feel about you going back and taking that job. Because what's going to happen there is realignment. What's going to happen there is you're going to, again, reduce that stress over your life, and you're going to be able to then breathe life into your own creativity. So I want you to know about this right now. This is about redirection. That's all it is. And it means that your path is just pivoting right now. It's not over. Okay? And it's not going to be devastating. Hold on. Yeah, it's not going to be devastating. It's not going to be a sudden change. You've been sitting on this for a long time. You've been sitting on, maybe I should go get a job for a while. You've been out there applying, and now you got to hit a bite, or somebody is saying, listen, I got a job for you. Whatever that position is, take it. Don't be embarrassed. Don't be ashamed. Be excited. Whatever that position is, take it. Don't be embarrassed. Don't be ashamed. Be excited. Be excited. And be a student. Because here's what's also happening. You have the Four of Swords. Okay? So the Four of Swords, we're going to take a look at this real quick. I want to look at it from here, but then I'm going to also tell you how I just received it. Cups, 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 swords. Okay, so swords, remember, is going to be mental. It's going to be your thinking. It's going to be all of that. So this is upright. I believe it was upright. I think this was upright. It was. It was the only one that was upright. That's right. So this is going to be a time of deep rest. See, it follows. So this is going to be a time of deep rest, a time of transmutation of shadow, of healing from burnout, of taking a brief holiday from your reality, renewal, and self-love. That's what this is about. And so being able to take that job to alleviate the stress that's on your life is going to be a moment of rest. Because you know this is not permanent. You know that job will not be forever. So that job is for you to make plans, strategic plans about how you want to build the next phase of your life. So take the job. Do not be afraid of what other people think about. And again, with the Four of Swords, y'all see that she's sleeping with her heart in there. Okay? So her heart is there, her mind is there, and her body is there because she needs a rest. life has been so hard for her. For you, life has been completely challenging. And you have fought the good fight. But what you're being asked to do in this moment is to keep fighting, but a different way. Allow yourself to have some rest. Allow yourself to have the momentary comfort, because we don't live in comfort forever, but allow yourself to have the momentary comfort of knowing from where your money's going to come for a second. Allow yourself the ability to rest. Treat that job like an investor in your next level of life. Treat that job like a moment to put down all that decision making. Because, and here's what's interesting, and this is what I just got, and I'm going to use this right quick. Y'all see all those markers on our arms? All those markings? That's the self-harm. That's the self-harm. You see how dirty she is? That's from trying so hard. That's from fighting so hard. And the thing is, y'all, when you're out of alignment, the fight never ends. It never ends. It could move from a physical one or a financial one to a mental one. It will never end when you're out of alignment. You will always feel yourself being pulled back another way. But right now, you're tired. And it is okay to rest. Take the job. Take the job. It is temporary. Okay? So then let's move into this. Oh, and that's the other thing. Hold on, real quick. Notice, this is a nest. In other words, allow yourself to be cared for, to be supported. And again, by the job. Right now, it's just temporary. So take that job, because you'll be able to get back to your creativity. You'll be able to get back to what you love. You'll be able to create from a place of curiosity and excitement instead of trying to make something happen out of stress. It's okay. It is okay. And then let's get to this final part. And remember, swords are also about mental. So you need that mental rest. You need it. Listen, yesterday I went to the gym, and because of all the problems I have going on right now, I have arthritis in my back from a car accident. I got sciatica from being way too lazy this year, basically. The arthritis getting down there. I have some disc thing again from the accident that I didn't take care of 7 years ago. So I have all these ailments going on. And yesterday I went to the gym and I did water aerobics instead. And what that allowed me to do is to get in a full workout because the water supported me. The water helped me carry my own weight. The water allowed me to do the things that I needed to do because it supported me. I was able to stretch and lift my leg without too much pain because the water helped lift my leg from the gravity and density and all that stuff you learn about through physics. That's the same thing about this point right here. Allow your mind to rest. Allow your body to rest. Allow your heart to rest. You don't need to be stressing yourself out. And when you get on that job, don't allow that job to stress you out. Because if you do, that means you're out of alignment. You're not allowing yourself to rest. So when they be like, I need it at 5 o'clock, and they tell you at 4:30, you say, I'll see what I can do. But if I can't get it done, I'll just do it first thing in the morning when I get in. I'm not staying to 6. I'm not staying to 7 because I have boundaries. And if they want to fire you, good. Then you can collect unemployment and you can get back to work. You can get back to doing what you want to do anyway. Anyway, perspective, y'all. Perspective and pivot. Okay? So, I love this card. This card is just so, sometimes so me. Sometimes so me, right? Let's see if we can get you to see this. So this is the 8 of Swords reversed. Now, Not reversed. Let's take a look at not reversed, right? So the Eight of Swords, not reversed, would be you being free a little bit, right? Because you will in reality be free, right? Because you'll be here and then, but the problem though is you'll see yourself reflected as if you are stuck, as if you are tied up, as if you are bound to your present circumstances, realities, etc. So this way, it is feeling stuck, but it's also telling you it's a time to actually open your eyes because guess what? You're not bound. That's a reflection. So that's in the past. That's not in your present, right? So that's what that would be. Open your eyes to unveil the truth. You have more options than you thought. An opportunity to let go of an old story. That's going to be in the upright. But see, here's what's happening. You're doing it to you. You are the one doing it to you. You are being the victim. You are feeling helpless. You are the one telling the stories and or actually just using those past experiences to be shackled to your excuses. You see that girl in that picture? She is being tied up. She is being attacked. She has been blindfolded. She has been bound. She has had all form of choice and control removed from her. But that's not who you are. That's not you anymore. So why you keep telling yourself that story? Why you have this look of distress on your face? Why do you think that's your reality? That's the thing, right? I got that message in a different way a while ago. And it was, yeah, you just went through the wilderness. Yeah, girl, you lost everything you ever known and owned over the last year. Absolutely. A storage full of all your writing and your grandfather's Bible and pictures from babies. Everything. And I'm not going to keep going because I feel my eyes prickling. But you're not there anymore. You are not tied up anymore. You are not shackled anymore. You have choices now. You get to make different decisions. Just because you became a creator or an entrepreneur, like walked off the job, boasted about it, maybe have been one of them people like, if you got a 9 to 5, I feel sorry for you. Maybe you were one of those people. And now you're having to eat that humble crow. It's okay. You get to release that story. You now get to understand that walking into the season of getting back into somebody else's job as a 9 to 2 or contract worker is not the end. It is just a pivot to allow you to rest so that you can move forward with your life, right? So that's your message. And it's a really good message. If you want to get back to being creative, being inspired, walking in purpose, and being aligned, it is going to require you in this season to rest. And it's not going to be the end of your travel, your purpose. It's not the end of any of that. It is rest. It is allowing yourself to stop stressing out for a moment. Rest. Tell yourself a different story. You are allowed to do this. Not only are you allowed to do this, it's not giving up. It is being grateful for the opportunity to create from a space of curiosity and of joy and not stress. Y'all, that's such a beautiful message. And I'm going to leave it at that because I feel like that's all I got. Do I have another message? Let's check in real quick. Do I have another message? If anyone here has a question, feel free to drop your question down below and we could talk about it before I close out. Oh, there's a Rose. Who's a Rose? Whose name is Rose? There's a Rose. Let me see something. Hold on. I just got a rose. Either a rose is watching or someone just popped in and said, Rose, Rose is here. Rose, Rose, Rosie, Rose. I'm sorry. I process out loud, so allow me to do this. Rose, Rosie. I saw like this beautiful blossom of a rose and it just opened. And that's how I heard the name. So Rose. Rose is here. Rose. Let me just write that. Rose is here. Okay. Sorry, y'all. Let me receive this message. Hold on. Somebody wants to leave a message before we tune out. I don't know who this one is for real quick, but I just heard very clearly, take out the garbage. Take out the garbage. So whoever that is, get your behind up and go take out the garbage right quick, because you're going to forget. All right. I just heard take out the garbage. That's funny. Rose, what do you want, babe? Who do you want to talk to? Why are these names popping up? Okay, Jeremy. Are you saying Jeremy? Because I see a Jenny and I'm not going to call Jenny. Okay. Okay, so I'm getting a very sassy individual. It's a female energy. Because I just said, come closer. And she said, I thought you'd never ask. Okay, so she's definitely a sassy little girl. Not little girl, but sassy woman. Okay. It's interesting because I never really believed that people die before their time. But she says she did. She says she died before her time. I think it's more she died before she was ready. That's actually what I'm hearing. She died before she was ready. Died to this plane. You know, she's obviously still alive in spirit. Okay. So she died before she was ready and she left you alone. It's like she's sorry for that. Is this friend or is this mother? Oh, this is a friend. So, okay, so this is friend energy. She died before she was ready, and she left you alone, and you didn't know how to navigate the world without her. She was your only friend, closest friend. Okay, I'm seeing like, is this nights on the balcony? I'm seeing basically two girls. So this is going to be kind of a childhood friend, but it feels like it comes from high school, middle school, high school, teen years. So this is a teen year friend. Like you came from there that time. It feels like summer because I see like shorts and I hear laughter. And it's actually like a twilight night. So is this camp? It's either camp or the backyard. And I hear you speaking in hushed tones. Like you're like whispering. Like you don't want to wake people up. But you're together. Sitting together. It feels like camp. Okay. Yeah. This feels like away from home. So this is a camp. Church camp? This feels like church camp. That's interesting. Because I just got a flash of of a church camp I actually went to. I went to like a 3 day church camp before, and so I got a flash of that. So I see young teen girls, looks like middle school to high school age, um, and you're outside, laughing, giggling, talking under the cover of night, trying not to wake anybody. Um, like it feels really rebellious to be outside, to be talking, like you were supposed to be asleep already. Now that's a memory. I will tell you that's a memory. Um, mm, it's one of her favorite memories. It's one of her most fondest memories of being with you. Somebody has braces. Somebody has braces and freckles. I think she does. Braces and freckles, or you did. Braces, freckles, giggling, outside, camp. I see like those little. It feels kind of 80s like 90s, like with the type of shorts. So it's like these cotton shorts and they're lined, and then they have that little split on the side. So like a 80s pair of shorts. I don't know if it's a style that did a return or not, but this feels 80s and 90s. So that means you would be in like your late 30s, 40s right now. So this is definitely a memory. So I'm like I'm like listening and seeing and hearing, and so I hear it like shh shh because you're giggling too much. I'm like shh shh, but like you're talking about one of the boys that's there in camp, um, that you like, but it's just an innocent crush. It's no big thing. Uh, but it's just one of her favorite memories is being able to be away from home because home wasn't the best home, and so she was at church camp with you, and you guys were really good friends, in that camp. But now I'm seeing her with dirt streaked legs. I'm trying to follow this here, which is giving me the impression that she wasn't cared for in her own family because this is her away from camp basically. So that's why. All right, this is sensitive, y'all. Um, she passed at the hand of another person, um, who was too rough with her. I'll put it that way. And okay, so if this is your friend, I want you to know that she absolutely loved the summer y'all spent together, um, at that camp. Like, she really loved having you as a friend. You were a bright spot. Like, she really loved having you as a friend. You were a bright spot. Sorry. I don't know what you heard there, so I'll just repeat it. You're a bright spot in the dark period of her life, but I could see from that dirt streak, which may actually be a bruise, that she was not taken care of the best by her actual family. Um, and so her life did end early. Yeah. So that's why she said she died before she was ready. I wonder if her name was Rosie or if she just loved roses. She loved roses. Okay. She loved roses because they were absolutely beautiful, but they could protect themselves with thorns. And she wished she had thorns. Oh. Sorry, love. I'm I'm gonna call her Rosie just because. Um, so she just wants to thank you. She wants to thank you for being her friend. She wants to thank you for the good memory because it helped carry her through, like I said, those dark times of her life. Um, and in fact, this is going to be hard to hear, so you can fast forward if you want to. But in fact, as she was transitioning, that was the last thing that she was thinking about was that night under the stars at church camp with a friend who loved her and she loved her back. So I'm going to take this to say, to mean, to impart here is continue giving that light. Continue sharing your light with people. You never know what they're going through. She never told you she was going through those things. Just keep giving the light, but also give the light to yourself. I feel like you don't know what happened to her. You just thought you lost touch because it was camp after all. But she's letting you know that she's on the other side, and she was very grateful for your time and your fun and your friendship and your smiles and your light, and just keep giving it. And like she said, give it to yourself, because I feel like you're frazzled right now, again, by life, again, by taking care of kids, by trying to keep a household together, by trying to protect your energy with all the stuff that we got going on. You've heard her before, though. This sounds like it's going to be like straight out of a horror film, but you've heard her laugh. You've heard her laugh before. And I get that you turned around to be like, what? But you've heard her before. She's come to visit you. And she just had to. Like, she just had to visit you. But she knows you think about her often. And it's actually your thoughts that keep her coming around. And she wants you to know that she's okay. Obviously more than okay. And the spirit world is just life, love, and energy. And light, love, and energy. But also life. It's just a different life. And she wants you to know that you deserve to smile more. You deserve to laugh more. And you're doing a good job. You're doing a good job with the kids. So it's not selfish for you to take some time to yourself, even if it is just a bubble bath. She's grateful for you, and she just wants you to have everything y'all talked about that night. So pick up your paintbrush, or is it a sketching pen? Make your art. Make your art. And one request. Can you draw a rose? All right. I'm going to leave you with her love before she makes me cry again. And that is all for tonight, y'all. Thank you.